Guys, after our record-long government shutdown, of course John Fetterman has been catching heat from fellow Democrats because he sided with the Republicans. Why? Because the Republicans wanted to put the need and interests of the American people first. The Democrats understood that that was their best bargaining chip. They had the most leverage when we had the country in a chokehold.
I mean, so relieved. I think my party crossed a line of now putting 42 million Americans with their SNAP benefits and making flying less safe and that kinds of chaos and not paying our military. I mean, that was a red line for me that I can't cross as a Democrat. And I think that's been described country over the party. And now that I think that's been the truth throughout it, and it's only wrong to shut our government down, and I'm relieved. But the people now that are going to get paid and fed, and millions of Americans, they're going to be flying now, that's going to be made more safe and restored.
The Democrats cross a line, and they continue to acknowledge it. They know they did. They know they did. That's terrible. Of course, Fetterman, he's on his little media tour, and now he's on The View, a propaganda arm for the Democratic Party. We know who they are. But of course, listen to what is stated here.
Well, Senator Bernie Sanders said the vote was a horrific mistake. Governor Gavin Newsom called it pathetic and a surrender. Poll after poll found more Americans on both sides of the aisle blaming Republicans. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene blamed the GOP. As you mentioned, Democrats had big wins last week, so you had momentum. Why give in now? Why bring a butter knife to a gunfight? Are you willing to gamble that the GOP will negotiate on health care in good faith once the government reopens? Because if that gamble is wrong, 500,000 Pennsylvanians that you represent, their health care costs will skyrocket if you are wrong. And I believe you are wrong.
Well, first of all, MTG is quite literally the last person in America that I'm going to take advice or to get their kinds of my leadership and values from. And now if Democrats are celebrating crazy pants like that, then that's on them. And now I don't need a lecture. I don't need a lecture from whether it's Bernie or the governor in California, because they are representing very deep blue kinds of populations, and a lot of those things were part of the extreme. And now remember, what really needs to win, the big win, is involving my state and other states and those things. And why have we arrived here after the election a year ago? We got to forget some of the things that cost us that election. Or now for me, it's like, that's why I'm trying to remind people that kinds of the extremism, we can't return to those kind of things and realize we need to find a way forward.
Now, it's insane that she's bringing up Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's a rhino, and Governor Gavin Newsom, the worst governor in the United States of America. He's residing over California. The only governor, of course, who can potentially make California worse. Give it to Gavin Newsom. Throw him the alley-oop. This is what Governor Gavin Newsom had to say about the government reopening when we finally passed with the 60-40 vote. Tonight's Senate vote on the federal government shutdown should have been a time for strength. Instead, we saw capitulation and betrayal of working Americans. The American people need more from their leaders. You see what I'm saying? These Democrats use this as a bargaining chip. Fetterman did a great job raising awareness about how the Democrats are betraying the American people. And yet, here they are, taking turns throwing him under the bus. So, of course, Chuck Schumer is most likely going to retire. The Democrats absolutely hate him. His approval rating was like -4.
How are Democrats feeling overall about Schumer? We've seen a lot of comments from some House Democrats, but what about overall?
What about Democrats nationwide feeling about Chuck Schumer? I think the word of the day is terrible, 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 terrible. To quote another Charles Barkley when it comes to Chuck Schumer, look at this. Least popular Dem Senate leader ever. I looked at all of the polls going all the way back since 1985. The one who has the lowest rating among Democrats is in fact Chuck Schumer. Look at this. He's underwater with Democrats. His own party, he's underwater. He's at -4 points. That makes him the least popular guy for a Dem Senate leader going all the way back since the mid-1980s at least.
Do you have a sense of why?
Why? It's because Democrats, they want a fighter. They want a fighter. That's why. Take a look here. Dems in Congress do too little to oppose Trump. During the first term, it was just 46% in 2017. That's the percentage of Democrats who said that the Dems in Congress are doing too little to oppose Donald Trump. Look at where we are now, 69%. That is an increase of, get this, 23 points. The super duper majority of Democrats believe that the Democrats in Congress are not doing enough to oppose Donald Trump. And that, of course, is a big, huge criticism of Chuck Schumer. And that is why he is underwater.
I knew you were going to do the dip. All right.
I always do the dip. I need my exercise in the morning.
There has been talks of a challenge to Schumer. What are you saying on that front? Who looks like they're in place to do it?
Okay, so you see this opening slide here, and you see, of course, that Chuck Schumer is underwater with Democrats nationally. But, of course, the ultimate way to get Chuck Schumer out of office is to beat him in New York State. So how do New York State Democrats feel about Chuck Schumer? And take a look here. The net favorable among New York Democrats. Chuck Schumer is above water with the Democrats in his home state, but just by 16 points. Look at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez running way ahead. If she decides to challenge Chuck Schumer and come 2028, she's got a real leg up on the competition. I dare say at this point she would be the favorite to beat him, which would be something that would just blow my mind, even just a few years ago, given that Chuck Schumer, of course, is a New York born bred type of guy.
Yeah, those are incredible.
Look at that, 30 points ahead. My goodness gracious.
That's a lot. All right, Harry Enton, you're always 100% ahead of the curve.
Ah,
I do appreciate you.
Thank you.
That will be the future of the Democratic Party, AOC. And with AOC inserted in his position, just remember, the standard now will be radical left. They don't want center-left politicians to represent them anymore because they hate that they play by the rules, or at least to a degree. They hate that they try to compromise and they try to work with the opposing party. They hate that. They want radical leftists who will step in. They want somebody who can accelerate the massive change and evolution of America. Of course, the liberals, they want their communist utopia in America. The Islamists are going to take advantage of liberals, toppling over the greatest nation in the history of the world. And of course, AOC will be the face of it all. Radical left will be the new standard. Chuck Schumer, they believe, did not fight enough for them. What they mean is Chuck Schumer was not radical enough for them. He should have put his neck on the line for the more radical positions, more extreme positions that we wanted, but he didn't. He was too moderate for our liking. The left eat their own. This is a trait that is unique to them. There is no diversity of thought. There is no diversity of opinion. They don't value free speech. They don't value more moderate positions. They want the radical leftist position. They want you to be complete Marxist and, of course, advocate for a communist utopia in the United States of America. That's the reason why Chuck Schumer is out. And that's why the Democratic Party will, of course, be too out of reach for your average American. With that being said, you guys, let me know your thoughts down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, Christ is King.